Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot, with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I am truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And as always, if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. You'll find out how to reach out to me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And I would love to see you there, but if not, thank you so much for your continued support here. Today I am doing a what your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say. I know that I said I wasn't going to do these anymore, but I got a channeled message from Source, and also I've been looking at some stats. This is a very highly requested reading as well, and so I'm going to start intermixing some of these back into the channel. I'm not going to be focusing solely on these, but I do want to bring back some of those very high popular requested videos for people and kind of update the ones that were there from, you know, a year or 2 years ago, because we are coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the channel, which is so exciting. So happy about that. But yeah, we're gonna get that underway. I am using the Talisman Oracle by Nora Paskaleva. Yeah, I think that's how you say that. I'm not sure, but this is what it looks like. Yeah, I love these. It's been a while since I've used these, and so I felt really drawn to bringing these out. And also just want to mention, if you have any reading topics that you would like to see, I'm trying to gather some more for the channel. Definitely feel free to leave those down in the comments on any of the videos, or even on, I had a poll that I will be reposting again, and feel free to catch that poll, to catch the community tab, and let me know what readings you guys appreciate, okay? So with that, let's hop to the prayer and we'll get this reading underway. All right, my beloved Source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading. I ask that you bring through clear messages today for us to help us really draw back into ourselves and know that, of course, we're always going to be human and curious about what's going through others' minds, but that ultimately it is how we feel about ourselves that really matters. And so I ask that you help us draw us closer to our own hearts, and remind us that we are not what people say of us. We're not how people feel about us, that we are how we feel about ourselves, and that is the only true thing that matters. I ask that you bring us courage and confidence to take care of the tasks and the projects that are at hand, and that you help bring us into a state of serenity and peace so that we can resume being grounded and in this connection with you and the divine. I thank you for always guiding us and for being a light within our lives and reminding us that we too are the embodiment of all good, and that we can embrace that at any one given moment. As these words are spoken among this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved Source. Thank you. So let me go ahead and get that set up over here. All right. Let me give this a quick shuffle. All right, Source, for the collective today, what do their coworkers secretly think about them but won't say? Yeah, finding the wisdom. The wisdom within. I don't know why I'm hearing that right now, but finding the wisdom within is so important. Don't let the people who have concealed secrets of you zap your vitality. Okay. So, Source, what is going to help us understand what my fellow humans, coworkers think of them but won't say? Okay, thank you. Something's going to sting. Okay, so there might be some triggering messages in here, just to let you know right off the bat. For pile number 1, Source, what Talisman Oracle card will help us better understand what pile number one's coworkers think of them but won't say. Okay. And for pile number two source, what Talisman Oracle card will help us better understand what pile number two's coworkers think of them but won't say. What do they think of pile number two but won't say? Okay. It's that one. And for pile number three source, what Talisman Oracle card will help us better understand what pile number three's coworkers think of them but won't say? Whoa, right off the bat. Okay. On the bottom, creativity on the bottom. So you're definitely overall with the spider here seen as someone who can weave things into existence with very little. And so there might also be a lot of jealousy that is attached to that because it's seemingly like everything comes easy for you. But let's see what we get in the readings in and of themselves. All right. So for pile number one, we do have this beautiful piece of garnet. We turn on the overhead. Okay. For pile number two, we do have this beautiful shard of amethyst. Okay. And for pile number three, we do have this beautiful bloodstone. So pile one, pile two, and pile three. Whichever pile you're drawn to, that should be the pile for you. With that, I will see you over on your chosen pile. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful piece of garnet, or if you were drawn to this card right here during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on what do your coworkers secretly think of you but won't say. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out, what does pile number one's coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? Source, what would you like to tell them today? Does pile number one's coworkers secretly think of pile one but won't say? Okay, before we get into this, I do want to say first and foremost that whatever comes out today, even if it is triggering, to remember that you are not what other people think that you are. You are, however, what you think that you are. So if you're resonating with something that's coming through as a negative or feeling like it's an attack, remember that those might be judgments that we have against ourselves, and that those are actually beautiful blueprints that will lead us to deep healing if we choose to take that route, okay? So we've got the ninth house, Aries energy, and Uranus. You're definitely seen as someone who's very unique and spiritual, but also someone who can be a little brash about your beliefs. So I do feel like what you believe is what you believe, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like that's how it is. And you should be firm in your beliefs. And with this Aries energy, I'm getting this like you're very strong about how you believe, and sometimes you just talk about it no matter what, and that sometimes your coworkers might be like, here we go again with pile one and their beliefs. Like, why is it that they always got to bring their beliefs into it? But it's just kind of a part of who you are, and you can't deny that, right? You can't deny that. But they do secretly think that you're like very abrasive almost when it comes to your spiritual beliefs, or when it comes to, maybe you're not even your spiritual beliefs, but like whatever you're learning, whatever you're studying, the things that you're exploring. Like this could even be like traveling, like you're like overshare your experiences with them, or that's how they're feeling, like you're oversharing your experiences with them, and you live such a different life than what they live. And so it's that hint of what I was saying earlier in the shuffle, in the intro, is that there's some sort of jealousy that's coming through as well. And that's for all three piles. But I do believe that that is something that elicits some sort of jealousy here. Like you may have a really great friend group. You may get to experience a lot of things that people don't. Like you choose to take time and space and money and dedicate it towards traveling. You could take time and space and money and dedicate it towards your dreams, towards opening up a side hustle, towards doing something that is going to get you further along. Like, you know, as even like learning a new language. This could be you connecting with different cultures. This could be you going out and putting yourself out there in the world. And it's like people like, oh, here we go. Here comes pile number one with their whatever it is they got going on again. And like, why can't they just stop? And that's what it feels like. But it's at the same time, like, you should be proud of the things that you do, right? Who cares what they think? And I'm always going to say that, like, in doing these readings, who cares what other people think? And we're naturally human. We're nosy. We're curious. And that's why these readings are as popular as they are. And that's why these readings are always highly requested, because we're nosy, right? Like, it's just, we're the ones that are back there with the curtains or with the blinds, and we're like peeking out the blinds, watching the whole neighborhood go by. Like, it's just, it's a natural human experience. And so for you, you give people insight to your life. And I feel like you're doing it because you want to inspire others to do the things that they love. Like, you're like, I love to travel. And it's like, this is something that really excites me. Or I love spirituality. This is something that excites me. Like, and for you, it's like a segue into what excites you. But everyone else is still living on this very surface level that they can't even dive into the same level as you. Like, they can't get deeper with that. And so you're just seen as someone who stands out from the rest. And that's what a lot of your coworkers think about secretly, is how different you are. Like, there are some that wish they had your life as well. There are some that wish they could do the things that you do. Let's get into the nitty gritty though and see what comes through. So Source, what do pile number one's coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? And you're good at, I feel like you're really good at setting emotional boundaries. And so that's why they don't really say anything to your face, because like, you teach others how to treat you, and you're very good at that. And so they know that they're not going to get away with just coming up to you and be like, would you just shut up already? You know, because you're going to bite back. Like, you're going to be like, excuse me? Like, I'm just sharing something with you. Like, why do you got to be like that? You know? So they know that they can't say something like that to your face. But Source, what does pile number one's coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? Yeah. I feel like they're closed off. Some of them think that you're looking for approval, and that's why you're sharing this. I don't feel like that's it at all. I feel like there's just a deep passion about what it is that you do, whatever it is that excites you. Like, you're passionate about it. Why wouldn't you share what you're passionate about, right? Yeah. Source, what does pile one's coworker secretly think of pile one but won't say? It's interesting. This came out twice while I was shuffling the Six of Coins in the reverse, and now it's coming out again in your reading in the reverse. So this is a thing. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, the Ace of Cups, like, you know, you're very, very connected to whatever it is that you're doing. Right? And you're very much about self-love and self-care and taking care of yourself first. And you also present a lot of dangers for a lot of people because of that authenticity and because of that connection with yourself and your higher self and the divine and source. And it's scary to a lot of people. And so there's like a lot of this feeling like, oh my gosh, like when pile one shows up, like I feel like I'm not doing enough, right? So the example here would be like, say that you decided to go back to school to get your degree, and you even went beyond getting an associate's degree. You could be going for a bachelor's or a master's or even a doctorate, right? And you're still working full time to get this, and everyone else is like, oh, what the heck? Like, why is it that they're doing that? Like, why is it that they're sharing that with everyone? Like, I haven't even gone and gotten an associate's degree. Like, I barely got my GED or something like that. Like, it's a trigger for them because you're choosing to spend your time doing this. But of course, it's something that you share because the people that you work with, you see more than you see the people at home. And so you end up building bonds with these people that, what, for better or worse, right? For better or worse, you build these bonds with these people. And so you're, of course, going to share them because you see them all the time. And it's exciting for you. But it's something that you love deeply. And it poses a potential emotional danger for others as an emotional trigger with the moon here in the reverse, because with the 5 of coins here, it's like showing you're making these huge changes, these huge shifts in your life. So let's see what your spread says. Yep. I'm not surprised that the star came out first. This is that energy, like you really want to be an inspiration to others. Like, you really want to inspire others. You really want others to be inspired by the things that you do. Like, it's like, if I could just inspire one person by sharing my story with them, then I've done something that is worthwhile to me. And yet, there's this sense of a lot of people are seeing you being open and vulnerable and succeeding and having luck and having abundance and having hope in what to them seems like incredibly hopeless situations. You know, it's like they're greedy. They don't want to give up things that they've gotten completely comfortable with. They don't want to give this kindness away. They don't want to give this compassion away. And so they're secretly thinking like, why can't pile one just stop talking about the things that they're passionate about? Because every time you show them that you're all full of hope, it makes them feel even more jealous. It makes them feel even more disconnected. It makes them feel like nothing is possible for them. Like they can't put forth the amount of energy, the amount of effort that you put forth. So it's like they're making it your fault that you're doing the things that you're doing. Like it's somehow your fault that they're failing at life. And that's completely absurd, right? Like that's so silly that people think that sometimes. And I'm just always like, are you kidding me? You're the one that can choose what to do with your life. You either get up and go or you sit on the couch and let life pass you by. But no one can make you do something you don't want to do. But right now it's like, that's how they feel. It's like, oh, well, if only pile one never talked about all that stuff, I would never have to see how bad my life really is. But that's not true, is it? Because even if you didn't talk about that stuff, they would still be dwelling on how bad their life is. And they would have that focus on someone else who's doing the same things that you're doing. So there's just this lot that has this energy against you where it's like, it's unfair that you're experiencing life the way that you're experiencing it. And they fear the future. Like this is someone or a group of people who fear the future. They're very emotionally immature. They're not capable of regulating their emotions, and their emotions put them in this energy of the 6 of coins in the reverse, where it's like they may lash out at you sometimes, or they may completely disconnect from you at times. Like they may just go completely silent on you sometimes, or not even want to talk. And you're like, well, what the heck? Like you always want to share your stories with me, but when I'm talking about what I want to talk about, like they might just completely check out. And you're like, what is going on? And it's because they're checking out because there's all these, like, it's interesting. I heard demonic, evil, angry, all coming all together. Like, it was kind of like all one. And if you followed me for any amount of time, you guys know my thoughts and feelings about being someone being evil or someone being demonic. It's just my own personal experience. It's not worth going into on the reading. But it's like, if you've been with me any amount of time, you know that. So ultimately, it's the fear that's taking over, and the fear is what's guiding them into this resentment and this anger about what it is that you're doing with your life. And I feel like there's something new here too, like maybe recently since the new year, like you've sparked a new interest, and you're really dedicated to making it happen. Like you're making moves to make this happen. And it's like they can't stomach it, right? Like they may even go home with an upset stomach. They may even go home with feeling like, oh, are you kidding me? And so they're thinking like, why the heck does pile number one always have something new to embrace? And why do they always have this new inspiration? Like, why can't I be living their life instead? And, you know, that's always a question that gets me. You want to live someone else's life, but you don't want the trauma, the complexities, and the experiences that that person has had to go through in order to get to a place that they're in now. So it's like for you to get to the place that you're in now, to have these inspirations, it's like they don't want to ask what hardships actually shaped you to embracing life in a positive way, because they want to have it easy. They want to have what you have that seems easy, and they don't want to say that to you. Who would ever say that to someone's face until they got so mad they couldn't hold it in anymore? But these are people who they're not going to say it. This could be an Aries, or you could be an Aries. Here we have independence, bravery, and passion. So you're just someone who's very independent with life. Like you do, again, this passion is being reiterated here. Like you're taking up arms and fighting your way through life. And that's what I was saying. Like they don't want to ask. They don't want to ask what it is that you went through in order to get yourself here. You know, it's like this idea of when, you know, I don't know why they're asking me to share this, but it's like if someone calls you prude because you don't want to sleep with them on the first date, and it's like they don't want to ask what your prior experience was that had shaped you to becoming more reserved and not sleeping with someone on the first date. You know, just because they do it, does that mean that you have to too? And that's like, it's interesting, right? That's coming up in a coworkers type in energy. So maybe someone here got rejected by you, and this is why they feel this way. And they're like, how could they be so passionate about life when they rejected me and broke my heart and they hurt me? But it's like, it wasn't your job to love them. It was like, you were honest with them, and that's all that really matters, right? And then we have house 6 coming out here, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. Yeah, your routine is switched. So this is what they're thinking. Like you're taking care of yourself. That's the only thing that matters. Like you're not focused on anything else. You're creating a new routine. You're creating new health goals, fitness goals, life goals. But we also have the 6th house, which connects with coworkers. And so this is absolutely a confirmation for this reading that this is something that your coworkers are noticing, but secretly they're thinking like, I want to be where you're at. And then on the bottom, we have house 2 coming out with physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. Let's put a big red circle right here around self-worth, because that's the thing. You're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling, I just heard someone say, yeah, they're feeling so full of themselves. Like, whoa, step back. Whoa. Get out of Dodge with that. No, you should feel good about yourself. You know, just because someone else can't feel good about who they are, where they're at, that does not reflect on you whatsoever. So what do pile number 1's coworkers secretly think of them? Yeah, be at home. Here's the thing. I feel like these people who are thinking this, like they're homebodies, like they go home, they turn on the TV, and they sit down and they do nothing. Or they're on their phones 100% of the time. Like even at work, these might be individuals who are consistently on their phone all the time. And it's like, you might not have your phone out very often, or you might not even be interested in playing around on your phone. Like, or if whatever it is that you're doing has something to do with your phone, you know, like, I don't know, you can learn a language on your phone. You can do schooling on your phone. I know it seems odd, but I've seen people do it. You know, you could be learning whatever it is that you're learning. There could be something that you have to use your phone for, or your computer for, but that's what you're using it for. You're not using it to dink around. And these other people, they're using their phone and their devices and their TV to dink around. But it's like, even when you watch TV, maybe you watch a documentary on whatever it is that you're watching, or you cast YouTube up there so that you can learn whatever it is that you're learning from YouTube. It's like you're trying to make the best of the technology that you have. And these other people, that's what they're like, oh, why can't they just go home and be at home? Like, why do they have to actually go home and do what's good for them? Just ask the question out loud and see how crazy that is. Oh my gosh. So that's why I laugh sometimes, because I don't hear it until it comes out. And so when it comes out, I'm just like, oh my gosh, sometimes people. Yeah, exactly. We have the hummingbird on the bottom. But you're in this place of presence right now. And that's what's making you really shine. It's like, you're like, I get one life to live. I better live it to the best of my ability. And so it's like, they're not even caring about how you're showing up for work. Like, that's not anything that they even care about right now. Like, they just care about whatever it is, this new passionate beginning that you've had. And I feel like this could, again, it could have been from the start of the year. Like, that's kind of what it feels like, is this is something from the start of the year. It could be something that you've been working on religiously for the last year, but it's like you're making progress in it now, and they're seeing you make progress, and then it irritates them every time they see you make progress. So if it is a health plan and you're losing weight, or you're becoming more toned, or you're becoming more fit, whatever, like they're seeing that, like you're wearing clothes that, you know, you like, that feel really good for you, and you're upping your game and your wardrobe and your makeup and your hair and your watches, I don't know, whatever you wear. And it's like they're seeing all that now, and it's like every time you come in feeling good about yourself, it's irritating them, and that's what they're secretly thinking. It's like, ugh, here comes pile one feeling good about themselves. Man, go on with your bad selves, pile one. You should be feeling good about you. Like, get out of here. People are crazy. Yeah, Venus and Diam Chenin. The beauty of love lies in its wildness. Be daring and embark upon journeys with your dragon. This card, it really is in Venus, right? Venus is like find beauty and see beauty and love all in places. It's like seeing and receiving it and experiencing that. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. It's like that energy going back to what I was saying. Like, I got one life to live. I better live it to the best of my ability now. You know? Yeah, Don Juan coming out here. This does not surprise me for what I was feeling. It spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. And then we have Shadow is using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Someone had an agenda here for you, and I feel like you could have rejected them. And for some of you, you might not even have known. You might not have even known that someone was crushing on you or wanting to mac on you like that. And you're like, what the heck? Like, seriously? And now you're in this place of positive, seductive qualities where it's like your divine feminine is shining through, even your divine masculine, wherever it is that you're at. But I do feel like this is a sense of the dark feminine and the dark masculine coming through. And that's a lot. Like, people are so scared of that part of ourselves, but that it's that part of ourselves that actually taps into that more seductive quality. And when we're healthy in that, it really shines out. That's like, all of a sudden you might start attracting people like crazy. You're like, what the heck? Like, why are all these people talking to me? Like, why are these people coming forward? It's because you're in that dark feminine or dark masculine energy. It's just like, people can't resist it. You're walking temptation, right? And for you, you're probably like, are you serious? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be a walking temptation, but it's like, you just can't help it, right? It's the vibration. It's because you balanced out the light and the dark attributes. And so when you balance that out, you're in this place of magnetism because it's a calming energy. And that energy, when it vibrates out, it's a large energy that affects a lot of people in your wake. And so it's like you're the ripple. Right? It's you're not even the stone in the water. It's like as you're walking, you're the ripple, and that ripple moves out from you. And so it's just people can't deny that. Yeah, wow, we have slave on the bottom here with surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. And I do feel like this is exactly what I was feeling with the Ace of Cups here, is like this divine connection. And the Ace of Cups in the Marseille is not really a love card. It talks about divine love, and it talks about this connection with God or this connection with source. And you see here, this cup looks like a cathedral. And so you have that very personal attachment, or not attachment, that personal connection with source energy here, and the source is what's filling up your cup. It's not really anybody else or anything that you're doing. It's literally coming home to source, and source filling up your cup and inspiring you to find things that you deeply love. And so we see that here with the slave. It's being reiterated here. And the shadow is giving your willpower for an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. And I feel like this is exactly what you're dealing with in the shadow right now, is there's people who are giving away their power, thinking that somehow in some way that you have control over them, you know, like by you doing what you're doing, that somehow is controlling them. But they're choosing to give that away. That's not your fault in any one way, shape, or form. It's a trip. These readings always get me. Like, I'm always like, oh Lord, here we go, people. Like, this is really what's going on here. Let's get some answer oracles on it. Let me get a couple more here, source. Oh, okay. They want one more. You want one more? That's the one. Okay, thank you, source. On the bottom, we've got treatment. Yeah, healing, comfort, surgery, and repair. Like, you're healing. You're in this place of healing a deep, deep wound and letting go of something that's been holding you back for a long time. Excuse me. And that sense of healing is good, because the people who are ready to receive that from you are going to. But remember that there are also going to be people who cannot receive that from you because it rubs their own inner demons raw, and that makes them act out in all different kinds of ways. Yeah, exactly. This is what I was feeling. We've got harmony here. It's important for you to have quiet, peaceful work atmosphere in order for you to thrive. Working at home or for yourself is best. And so some of you could have started a side project that you eventually want to turn into a full-time gig. And it's like source is bringing you into this place of harmony and peace. And that harmony is what's rippling out to everybody. Let's get one more of these. What else would you like to say, source? Thank you. And on the bottom, we've got cultivation. You are in the growing phase right now, and you must continue to water the seeds you have planted in order to reap the rewards. Yeah, so you're growing right now. There's a lot that's going on with you. And let's get a shadow. I feel like we need to get a shadow aspect, and then we're going to check out your cards. All right. False hope. Wow. Tries to sell you a pipe dream, no substance, and evasive. And I feel like the main thing here is no substance. Okay, like these people, they're people who talk a lot, or you're going to know what this means, but these are people who are like, well, you know, I used to insert whatever they used to do. So say you're doing yoga, right? Just from this picture here, say you're doing yoga and you're like, yeah, I've been really, really diligent with my yoga practice and this, that, and the other. And these are the people who are like, well, I used to do yoga too, and no one was better than me, right? And you're like, so do you still do yoga? Oh no, I quit doing yoga like 3 years ago. And you're like, so what does that have to do with anything? Right? That's that false hope type of energy. It's like they always compare you to something that they used to do. Just somebody that I used to know. There's this little squirrel right now. It snowed last night, and there's this squirrel that's running across the road and literally hopped into the air as high as one of the electrical boxes 3 times. Just went boing, boing, boing like this, and then jumped onto a tree and ran up. I don't think I've ever seen a squirrel jump that high. I knew they were able to, but wow. So exactly, right? Someone that I used to know. And I feel like you're just slowly hopping away. It's like when you take one leap, you leap so high. And this person knows that. I feel like they're just trying to bring you down. We got, oh yeah, look at this, bottled up. Many unexpressed emotions, time bomb, and holding back. So yeah, they're bottling up how they feel, right? Because it's unprofessional, or because they want to keep their job, or because they're people pleasing too, whatever, wherever they're at, it doesn't matter. They're just bottling it up. So we've got Cherdwin and Baldwin with 22 here. See the wonders around you and honor this incarnation. The here and now is the stage on which you will encounter and learn to love yourself. So again, confirmation about self-love here. You're learning to love yourself deeply. And then we've got companion, the light here being loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. And the shadow is betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. Yeah, this is why you're rubbing their demons wrong, because they're recognizing that they don't have their own identity, that they're living in this place of being, you know, that false hope, like trying to impress others with whatever they don't have. Sunset, deadline, fade, and aging. And I feel like this is actually what is like making you move forward. And this, you know, may not ring true with everyone, but this feeling of aging is coming in here. It's not that you're getting too old, but it's like as another year passes, we oftentimes look back and we're like, wow, I'm moving forward in my life, right? The future is here. And so it's like, I need to do something. And so aging can sometimes be something that pushes us to change in our lives. And so I feel like that's what it is you're seeing. It's like, I can either choose to move forward, or I can choose to stay stagnant, or I can choose to even decline. And I feel like for you, it's like, I want to move forward. Love, appreciation, fondness, respect, and trust. And you're trusting that that's what it is. It's like, if I love this, I'm trusting that this is something for me. Bell, call, warn, wake up, and signal. You're answering your soul's call right now. Seagull, cunning, perseverance, fearlessness, survival, and freedom. Yeah, it's something you take very seriously. Right? And they do see this, and I think they secretly think this about you as well, but it's like they're angry about not being able to do the same things that you're doing. Yeah, you're somebody that's wise, you're very experienced, this immortality and authority. And I feel like they're also questioning authority right now, because it's like you're making progress with so little. It could be family that's coming through too. Maybe you work with family, or again, like our work family, like our work husband, our work wives, you know, like whatever that is coming through as well. So we have roots, bloodline, and togetherness. And I feel like this is also just confirming, like, you see your work, your coworkers more than you see your family. Look, gossip, exactly. Rumors, speculation, and slander. So these could be people who are gossiping about you as well behind your back. Like, they're trying to make you look like you're not who you are. And you know, I don't feel like a lot of people are believing this person, because I feel like it's either, I keep saying this person because it does feel like one person in particular, but it could be a group of people as well. But I feel like if this gossip gets around to people who actually take time to get to know you, they probably just laugh it off, because they're like, man, they really don't know pile one at all. We have education. You may need to take a class or do research to find a better position, or you may find yourself writing a book or teaching others. This confirms exactly what I was feeling earlier, is that you're, you know, either learning something new, taking another class, or whatever it is that's schooling, like you're growing your education, especially with the 9th house coming through here for you. Let's take a look at what your card is here. Yeah. Good fortune. I'm not surprised that this came out for you, because that's that energy. It's like whoever your coworkers are, they feel like good fortune is smiled upon you. And that is also something that makes them feel, you know, jealous. Here's the insignia for this, if you would like to screenshot this and carry it with you as a reminder of the reading. It says, in ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was a symbol of good fortune, rebirth, and protection from jealousy. Wow, look at that. This card indicates prosperity and long-term success. It could also mean a miracle or blessing. This, however, is not a passive fortune. Now is the time to formulate new ideas about the path you want to follow. Decide what you are interested in and take action, because luck is on your side. This card can ease the hard work that needs to be done to get to the finish line, but it's up to you to see yourself through. You'll resurrect your power when you encounter obstacles on your way, but you need to stay focused on your goals. Don't forget to celebrate your success. And it says, I attract good fortune. And that's what I was feeling with the squirrel that was bouncing like it was too. So this card totally sums up everything. And so we're saying, like, good fortune is smiling upon you right now. So embrace that, okay? So pile one, this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, is there a little beetle emoji? leave a beetle emoji down below or the ladybug emoji down below and say, I choose to take action now towards what makes me passionate, knowing that good fortune is smiling upon my progress. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box, including how to reach me for a private reading, also how to join as a member of the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second and thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my guides for coming through to give us this amazing reading. And until next time, pile number one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow humans. If you were drawn to this beautiful shard of amethyst, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on what do your coworkers secretly think of you but won't say. I do want to say first and foremost, thank you to those of you that continue to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. Before I get into your dice, I did have a channeled message for you. It was so powerful, coming through so many times when I was getting ready for your reading. And that's that they automatically, secretly think that you're incredibly prosperous, like very abundant. Also that you may be a secret, like, millionaire or something like that, like you've got a lot of money hidden away, or you've got a lot of money saved up or something like that. So they're secretly thinking that you're incredibly wealthy, but also just abundant, like abundant in life. Good luck falls upon you. Things are very, prosperous for you. Like whatever you touch turns into gold, kind of like the Midas touch coming through. So your coworkers do secretly think that you're like King Midas or Queen Midas. So however you resonate with that, or, Royal Midas. And that's the first thing that is coming through. It's just coming through so much before I even got ready for your reading. It was just like I was prepping to come on, and it was like prosperous, abundant, wealthy. Well, I was like, whoa, okay, shoot, this is coming through. So let's find out, source. What does pile number two's coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? What does pile number two's coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? What does pile number two's coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? All right, so we've got Sagittarius energy, the 8th house, and Pluto. Yeah, you transform everything into abundance and adventure. And also, like, you're not afraid of the darkness. Like, you're someone who taps into the shadow side with ease. And you're able to transmute that into fuel for your journey. And I feel like that's really intimidating to a lot of people. We also have jealousy and possessiveness energy here as well, right? With both Pluto and the 8th house. It's like, so there's a lot of people who are jealous of you. And I don't know if you caught the intro, but in the intro I did talk about that, because on the bottom for the collective message, we had creativity that came out for the cards. And that's what came through with the creativity card, was that there's a lot of people who are really jealous of your ability to create and focus and change and transform things right now. And so we see that coming out in your reading as well, especially with the 8th house and Pluto coming through. There's just this, like, people are intimidated by you. They don't know how to take you on all the time. Like, there's a lot of people who probably don't talk to you, or like when they do talk to you, they may cut your conversations short because they're incredibly intimidated by you. And that's also fueled by the jealousy. Like, they feel like everything is easy for you. They feel like you've never had to work hard, or they feel like you've never had to struggle. And of course, we know that's not true, right? What people see on the outside is oftentimes what they paint it to be, because their mind can't comprehend the tragedies, the traumas, or the horrific things that we've had to go through that have shaped our lives. And so it feels like a lot of your coworkers, they see what they want to see, and they see what they, whatever little bit they see of you each day. So you could be someone who sticks to yourself a lot. Like, you might not be someone who's always chatting with everyone or talking to everyone, but you could raise up the ranks fast in your job, or you could have gotten promoted rather quickly. And everybody sees that, of course, and so it's something that they're like, what the heck? Like, why does pile 2 seem to get everything that they want, and they, you know, nothing they do is ever bad, and everyone always wants them on their team, or like everything for them is just simple and easy. And it's like, you're doing so much work when you're not at work, right? And I feel like you definitely reside in shadow realm. And for those of you that this resonates with, it wouldn't surprise me if some of you were like shadow witches, or shadow, being able to work in the shadows with magic. And so I know it's not going to resonate with everybody, but it's like a very small group of people, if not like 1 or 2 people, that's going to resonate with. You could be a warlock who does that as well, but you know, it's like, it's something that's coming through very strongly as well. It's like you're capable of casting magic based on the trauma that you had, to transmute it into something positive for the future, positive for the present. And so for those of you that you're like, what the heck is that? It's just a manifestation technique. And if you're not into it, don't worry about it. But for those of you that are working on your shadow side, you're working on clearing out the shadow and clearing out the trauma and healing from that, releasing it and letting it go, and releasing that. You're making space for the good to come in, and everyone around you, especially your coworkers, are seeing that, right? And especially with the 8th house here, we do have occult energy. We have dealing with the subconscious, walking around in the darkness, you know. There's a lot that comes through with the 8th house. It does have to do with transformation, rebirth. There's things that are taboo, secrets. Like, I feel like no one knows who you are. But it also talks about inheritance, which is so funny, because it was like, I was feeling like there's like abundance. I feel like people think that you're a closet millionaire or like a closet billionaire. And for some of you could be like, really? Because I'm not, you know, not at all. But it could be something that's coming for you as well, because you are learning how to feel very abundant in your own skin. And that's beginning to mirror out in the outer realm. But you have a lot of people who are also obsessed with you. I feel like there's a lot of people who try to control you. And you're always like, what the heck? Like, you know, and I feel like you're so much deeper than people even realize. Like, nobody gets to know the real you. And so everyone might think that you're playing dumb, or that you're not as intelligent as you really are. And I feel like that's also kind of part of your presentation for yourself, because it's like, it's easier to keep people at arm's length rather than let people in and know how deep I am. Because I feel like you've really been hurt in the past, and you've been hurt because you do love deeply. Like, you give everything of who you are. And so it's like, when it comes to work, it's like, who am I going to meet at work that I actually want to bring home and party with, you know, or hang out with, or even go out to dinner with, or have drinks with? It's like, and even if you went as like a team or something, you're still just the quiet, shy type. And so I feel like people definitely at your job paint you as someone who's not really that intelligent, as someone who has nothing of sustenance. But it's only people who see you in your element that recognize that. So that would probably be your superiors understand that you're someone who has a lot to you, because especially if you've gotten a raise or something like that, like, they recognize just how much of an asset you are to the team. Yeah, look at this. Split the deck, and we've got the Queen of Coins. Again, this prosperous energy coming through here. And we've got the Popess. Yeah, you're incredibly intuitive and wise and mysterious. Like, that's the other thing. I feel like, and they secretly think like you're super mysterious too, but there's this energy that's coming through where it's like people kind of think that you're... Like, I'm not trying to be mean in saying this, but it's really the energy that's coming through. So please remember, I'm the messenger, but they just really think that you're dumb, and you're not. You're not. That's kind of irritating though, right? Like, it's like, and maybe that's okay with you. You know, it's like I just rather play the dumb blonde and let people think what they want, so that I can just have my space to myself. Like, it's almost like you do that so no one's gonna bother you, or like no one's gonna, you know, suspect you. But then the problem is that you're moving up rank, and you're like, oh crap, like, this isn't gonna play out very well. The King of Coins just made himself present. Yeah, there he is again. Even though he's coming out in the reverse, he was in the upright just a second ago, but then when I split the deck, here he is in the reverse. And the 6 of coins, yeah, you're a very abundant person. Like, this is a thing, like, it's easier for you to let people think that they're stepping, like, you're stepping on toes somewhere, or that you're doing things in a harsh manner to get this abundance. But the reality is you're not. Like, it's because you're talented. It's because you have a gift, or it's because you're capable of doing what others aren't. It's crazy. I don't usually get that much information from the dice, but wow. Just starting off big here. I heard Mr. Big. That's what I just heard. Isn't that a movie? Mr. Big? I don't know. I don't know. It just came through so loud right now. Okay, thank you. We'll put that on the bottom. Alright, yeah, we've got the 4 of Wands in the reverse on the bottom. Like, here we go. This is the pain. I feel like that's the thing. Like, maybe you did give a lot to someone. And this is romantic frustration, broken heart, a breakup. This is like someone who did you dirty, who, you know, could have cheated on you. This is someone who just wasn't there for you when you needed them and broke your heart. And the Moon card. Yeah, you definitely keep this close to heart. Like, this is something you don't share with people. You don't share your past. You don't share even your life. I feel like people don't even know what your favorite color is. You know, it's like they don't even know what your middle name is. Like, why should they? They know that's who I am. This is what I do. I come in and I go home and that's it. It's like you keep things very simple. Like, it's by design. And that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like it's by design. Yeah, we've got the 7 of Wands. Yep. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, we've got the the Queen of Wands and the Sun in the reverse. Yeah, you've overcome a lot of issues with people who have trouble with authority. I feel like you've moved up into an authority position as of recent, or you're about to, or this is something that everywhere you go, you always get an authority position at work. And there's a lot of people who have such an issue with it. Like, they want to knock down your courage. They want to knock down your ability to overcome. They want to knock you down a peg because they don't see clearly, right? They don't see clearly what your talents are here. Look at all this fire energy. This is all fire energy. Aries, Leo, like, so and then we have Sagittarius in the dice. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here's the thing. You present yourself as a fire sign. You could have a fire rising. That would not surprise me at all. But even if you don't, like, you present yourself as a fire sign. And you do it in a way where it's like again, with this Leo energy, people might think you're very arrogant, that you don't have the talent that you have, but you know that you do. Like, you know what you bring to the table. And so they're secretly thinking that you know, I'm going to knock pile 2 down a peg because they think they're better than everyone, or they think that they've got this. But we also see here with the 4 of Wands on the bottom of the deck that, like, you have a dark past. That's why I was saying, like, you reside in the shadows. Like, that's the thing. It's like your shadow self is what has created the talent, the skill, the abilities that you have in this moment. And that's something that your coworkers are not privy to. Like, they don't have that sensitive information, nor should they, right? Because it's stuff that you can't really trust them with. And it's, like I said, it feels like it's by design. Like, you designed it that way. I created a situation in that manner so that they can think whatever they want, and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to kick butt and take names. And that's what you're doing, especially with the 7 of Wands here. It's like you've overcome every challenge. And it hasn't been easy. Like, even getting a promotion, or even moving up in your job, or even getting to where you are in your job, like, none of that has been easy. Even though your coworkers might think that it was easy for you, it's like, because no one knows you, they don't know how much you might have struggled with that. They don't know how much you might have had to go home and, like, really face a part of yourself that you didn't want to. And it was easier just to pour yourself into work, right? And so they don't understand or see those things. So you could be a Leo sun, an Aries sun, a Sag sun, or Scorpio moon. Yeah, Scorpio moon is coming out really strong here. Sag rising, Leo rising, Aries rising. Also, you could have 10th house in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or Scorpio north node, south node energy. Could be Scorpio south node. Yeah, okay. So these are things that just really, it's so funny. It's like they're really angry and frustrated with you because you come in and you do such a good job, but they're not seeing what you're doing. And they only see the results of what it is that you've done. And so there's a lot of resentment and a lot of anger here. And again, this idea of prosperity, even with the Queen of Wands, like, she always gives me this energy of, like, especially when she's in the reverse, like, I'm mad because of how prosperous you are. I'm mad because of how abundant you are. I'm mad because you have a better status than I hold, right? And so there's this aggressive energy that's following this. And that's what they secretly think. It's like they wish they could knock you down a couple of pegs. Like, they wish that they could bring you down to reality so that you actually know what suffering is. But if they ever even took a minute to get to know you, like, I feel like if you ever shared a part of your story, and not that you're ever obligated to, pile two, but this is how I really feel. I feel like if you ever shared even just a fraction of your story, it would really humble a lot of these people, because it's things that you've gone through that not very many people have experienced in life. And, you know, of course, there's always going to be people who experience worse things than what we do. But I feel like a lot of these people who are in this energy of feeling like, oh my gosh, here comes, you know, badass pile number two, excuse me for cursing, but that's what it feels like, you know, like, oh, they think they're so great and they think they're this, like, they don't know what it is to struggle. It's like, I feel like they're the ones who actually don't know what struggle is, or like the things that they struggle with are so minuscule compared to what you've experienced, like tragedy, heartbreak, loss, grief. You know, maybe I just heard so loud homelessness. That came in so loud right now. So that is not for everyone, but it came in really loud. It kind of scared me a little, but it was so loud. So yeah, it's like, I feel like the things that you've juggled in life, it's like you don't talk about, because it's like, I'd rather change who I am and change what I'm doing than to focus on the negative that I've experienced in life. It's just things that I've experienced, and I don't have to focus on those. So for all that you've been through, you actually have a very sound mind, and you have a very sound emotional response to the things that most people get out of whack for. And that's exactly what I feel like your coworkers are thinking right now. There is some coworkers here that do see you overcoming a lot, but more than anything, I feel like this is your superiors that see just how much you overcome. So it's like there might be a few people who know a part of your story because they've had to, because maybe there's been times when you've had to call out, or maybe there's been times when you've had to take care of something, and it's like, I need to kind of give a Reader's Digest version of my story. And so there's other people here who do see how hard you've worked and how far you've come and how much energy and effort you put forth. But there's a group of maybe 3 people here that are very childish and very unruly towards you. And I feel like they might gossip about you behind your back as well. They might try to spread rumors about you, but I do feel like it just kind of doesn't hit the spot because you are so quiet all the time. And I'm getting that with the 8th house and Pluto energy. Like, you don't really interact with people in that way. And so it's kind of hard to follow rumors when, you know, you don't give anybody any fuel. Look, Pluto just flipped out of the deck. I can't. Yeah, so Scorpio energy is what's leading you right now. You're transforming your entire life. You're not the same person today that you were even a year ago. Like, you're just not. There's so much that has changed. And it's like, none of these people are going to ever see that transformation because they're only seeing the things that you're getting. They're seeing your blessings, right? And in seeing your blessings, it's like, oh, well, why can't I have that? Look at what came out, the 8th house. Oh my gosh, we've got the 8th house and Pluto again. What? Oh my gosh. Transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies. Yeah, you face some really, really unsettling fears. Like, you really reside in the shadow. That's why I can't get past that energy. It's like the shadow for you is not a big deal. It's like, if you have a trigger come up, you're immediately going to face that. Like, what's going on with my trigger? Like, this isn't anybody else's fault. It's nobody's fault, right? But I need to find out why this is triggering me. This isn't, you know, anything that I have to worry about or cry about over spilt milk. Like, I really need to figure out what's going on with me. And so you face your fears, and because you're facing your fears, you're having this massive transformation that's happening all the time. And look, we've got the 5th house on the bottom: passion, play, children, confidence, and creativity. So you're very confident about your shadow work. I feel like this actually might be a passion for you as well, as doing the shadow work, and that scares a lot of people, pile too. Like, when you're willing to dip into the shadows of life, like, it just scares a lot of people. Because their whole lives we've been conditioned to not accept our shadow self. Like, whoa, that card almost went flying off the table. Almost went flying. Just went phew. And we're conditioned to ignore that part of ourselves, or to lock it away. And I feel like for you to go in and dig deep and understand yourself, it's like other people, they think that it's so easy for you, but the hardest thing that we can do in our lives, even if it is simple, one of the hardest things that we can do is actually dig into the shadow, because it's yuck. It's gross. It doesn't feel good. I don't feel like any of this time you've been like, oh, yay, I got to go and do shadow work. I feel like you're just like, okay, shadow work is what gets me further in life. So anytime my shadow comes up, I'm going to face it, because I recognize that helps me move forward. Right? And other people don't see it that way. So on the bottom, we've got the owl. And the owls are the messengers in between the veil, right? The spiritual world and the physical, the mundane. And so we have you see clearly now. Okay? And this is interesting, because there was another reading I did earlier this week that had the snowy white owl come out as a huge synchronistic message for someone. So again, I'm being called back to that, but that could be a huge synchronistic message for you as well, like just seeing the snowy owl. And it's also about tapping into our wisdom and our abilities and knowing that we'll be okay, right? Okay, on the bottom we've got Saga and this really ridiculously long name that I don't know if I should try to sound out, but we've got Shalea Shagthan. 31, drink from the holy water of wisdom and be now, from now on, follow the way of self-awareness. Be like water, flow freely and unhindered along your path. And this makes me think of temperance energy, which is all about healing as well, and letting go and finding a way to balance light and the dark. So again, it's like self-awareness coming out here. Like, that is such a powerful message for you. You're self-aware. And that's what they're not seeing. Like, they don't recognize that you're actually someone who's self-aware. Like, they're thinking that it's something else. Like, oh, you're just lucky in that way. It's like, no, like, people don't realize, like, healing is our #1 fast ticket to getting away from what we don't like, right? Well, you figured that out somewhere along the way, and that's what's happening here. Okay, so we have detective that flipped over. It says the light attributes are great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. This is so telling. This is exactly what I've been talking about. It's like you're trying to realign with yourself. Who am I? Who am I? So you observe yourself and you listen to your intuition. We have shadow attributes, voyeurism, and falsifying information. And I feel like that's what they think about you, is that you're falsifying information. But what information? What do you even tell them that you're falsifying? Like I feel like you say nothing. Okay, so we've got engineer coming through with ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas, and the shadow is reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. Yeah, so right now you're giving shadow work creative energy for practical expression, and that's actually applying to your work, whatever you do for work. Teacher on the bottom, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom, and then the shadow is manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. So I feel like you're moving into this place where you're giving experience and wisdom to others, but only those that are actually open to hearing it. Right? Because not everybody is willing to receive that. Not everybody would be happy to receive that either. There's some people who are going to be like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm not interested like that. I don't care what you got to say. Let's see. I feel like there's, exploration coming out. We have creation, experimentation, universe, and underground. Do you feel like you're very connected with source? Let's see what's on the bottom. Memories, old acquaintances, old debts, recollections, and prejudices. So there's definitely this is against you right now. But we see here with this memories, it's because you're triggering old memories in others by you healing yourself. And that's not your problem. That has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with where they're at. So be it. We've got chat, exchange information, disclose information, and inquire. And I feel like this goes back to clarify what I was saying earlier. Like if you were to ever just share a part of your story with someone or with the people that you work with, and again, that is not an invitation to do so. It's just saying that people would just be shocked at what you've experienced. Like you actually went through that, and they would actually gain an understanding of why you are who you are and what it is that you do. But let them think what they want. Let them think what they want, whatever. It all comes back around, right? Again, you're going to be over there working on your blessings, and they're going to be worried about it, and let them worry about it. We've got crushed. That's what I'm saying. Like you've experienced a lot, pile 2. You're hurting you're hurting emotionally right now. You need time to heal before you jump in again. Yeah, so you're dealing with healing from this energy over here, the 4 of Wands in the reverse. And on the bottom, we have demanding, unrealistic expectations, high maintenance, and a diva. So they secretly think that you might be a diva, that you're high maintenance, that you have unrealistic expectations of others. And again, I feel like because you're so quiet, like their brain is just trying to fill in the gaps because they have nothing. They have nothing. They don't have anything to put there. And so they're just trying to make sense of like, oh, here's this newcomer who's coming in and having all this good luck and whatever. And it's like, they're just trying to make sense of you being there and having the success that you're having, but they can't. So we have great match. You're on the verge of finding the perfect work for you. Don't give up. You may need to grow your own business to truly be happy. So I do feel like, excuse me, if you're wondering if you should start your own business, like I feel like that's a green light to start looking into it and taking the steps to do so. Yeah, fast changes. You'll be leaving a job suddenly or getting one very quickly. Or your work may change dramatically in a short time. Go with the flow. So there's a lot of changes that are coming for you in your job and in your work. And everyone's going to feel it, but I feel like it's going to be in your favor. Yeah, let it shine. Prosperity with the peacock spirit here. You're completing some sort of cycle, and now you're living from your heart space. And you know, the more that we open our heart, the harder it is for some people to accept that, and you just have to let that be, right? I love this dragon so much. Mother Mary and Zeo. Extend the trust within you to all things in existence, and it will set you free. Says those who are free will always choose love. And I feel like this is very powerful as well too, because it's like, again, don't worry about what they're doing. Just come from this place of love, seeing that they're too coming from a hurt place. And sometimes the easiest thing is to latch onto someone and blame that someone for a hurt. And it's just because that's what we've always been taught. And so I feel like with Mother Mary and Zeo coming through for your reading, pile 2, they're just saying like, remember to stay in this space of love. Like you've gone through the shadow. You know how dirty it gets. You know how gross it is. You know how difficult it is. And it's like, you know how hard it was to make that choice as well. And it's like, if others aren't going through that shadow work themselves, like, I feel like you can put the shoe on the other foot. Like you can understand where they're coming from, even though it makes no sense to direct it at you. But we also understand that society tells us that we have to latch onto someone to blame for our own shortcomings. And so we can kind of open up to that compassion and understanding that that's exactly where they're at, but it has nothing to do with you. Promise, oath, contract, emotional bond. Yeah, so Source has like promised you something here. Through all of this, like the promise is yours. There's a contract that you've made because of healing these emotional wounds. Timing, deadline, synchronization, rhythm, and movement. Things are moving along and divine timing is at work. Koi, perseverance. Exactly. Good fortune. Tell me, this is not exactly what we talked about this whole reading. Yin and yang and ambition. Yeah, so you're about to receive something very, very big for you. We have show, spotlight, express, create, radiate joy and enthusiasm. You could be traveling soon as well with the show card. Treatment. Wow, this came out in pile 1 too, but in a different place. We have healing, comfort, surgery, and repair. Yep, you're definitely healing right now. Redemption, hope, miracle, turning point. So you do bring a lot of hope to your coworkers as well, even though they get irritated with you at times. Like, I feel like it's like the hope of like someday maybe I can be like that. And I do feel like there's a group of people who are really cheering you on. But again, it doesn't feel like it's the coworkers that are on your same level. It does feel like it's uppers, like upper management that is really cheering you on and wanting you to grow. Secrets. And that has to do with the 8th house too. We have codes, treasures, bribes, and disguise. And this, look at this. Just look at this mouse. Like, I would love to live in this. This looks so cute. Anyways, but it's like one of those little, pull behind trailers that they design like that and put into a house or whatever. And so there's this energy. It's like people really think like, oh, it's because you're cute, or it's because you give these eyes, or because of this. Like, you know, like that's the only reason like you've gotten away with it, that you're hiding secrets, that you're doing something that you won't tell anybody what your secret is. But it's like you don't owe anybody an explanation. You just need to keep showing up and doing you. Freedom. You need to have more flexibility within your schedule and income. Being self-employed is ideal. Time off will help you get clear. So again, that confirmation that if you've been thinking about starting a business, this is another confirmation for that. So let's check out your card. I'm going to read this from the book. We've got the elixir of life coming through. Don't let their negativity, that negativity is going to eat you alive, Ming. Don't let it drain your energy. Don't. Right? Because you're coming into a place of good luck and fortune, and it's for you. You may have even watched pile number 1. If you were drawn to pile number 1, there might be even more messages for you there. And if not, that's okay. You never have to watch more than one. It says mortality is a reminder that life is short. The Elixir of Life card does not offer immortality, but shows up in a reading to remind you that there are things that are greater than us. And by adopting this philosophy, we can become part of the whole that is of itself immortal. We want both simplicity and abundance, and seeing, wow, if I can turn the page here, and seeing the pure energy connecting us can be liberating. Our unconditional capacity for love and kindness is immeasurable and has the ability to remove all fear. Acknowledging the laws of nature that govern the universe places power and responsibility to create our own sense of meaning. And this says energy lives for forever. So that's the thing, like you're creating your own sense of meaning right now where you're at in life. And of course that's going to rub some people raw, but it's also serving you well because you're trying to create something for yourself that's going to give you a sense of freedom after being super crushed, after having gone through something that was really difficult. So don't ever feel guilty about that. You know, let yourself shine and keep doing what works for you, because there are good things that are coming for you, Pile 2. And really, where everyone else is at, they have their own journey to contend with. And if they're not willing to do the healing like we see that you are, that's on them. That's not on you, right? You can be a light of hope for them, or they can just choose to go down a different path. And at this point, just let them choose what they will. Okay, so this is what I see here for you. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little feather emoji down below and say it's through my healing and allowing myself to embrace that life is short, that I'm truly stepping into a space of freedom. After having been crushed, I'm finding myself again. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything in the description box. You can find how to reach me for a personal reading, also how to join as a member on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second and thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very intense message, Pile number 2. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful bloodstone, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on what do your coworkers secretly think about you, but won't say. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that, I did have a channeled message for you that this is especially relevant if you are a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. I know that kind of like spreads it out a little bit, but water signs were coming in so strong while I was getting ready for your reading. Also looking at finding fulfillment. So you feel like your coworkers are really feeling like you are finding fulfillment and that you're learning how to be happy on your own and that you're learning how to be happy with whatever it is that you're putting your energy towards. So that was a really strong message that came through right as I was getting ready for your reading. But let's go ahead and start with the dice and see what comes out. So Source, what does pile number 3's coworkers think of them but won't say? What does pile number 3's coworkers secretly think of them but won't say, Source? What does pile number 3's coworkers secretly think of pile number 3 but won't say? Okay, so we've got the 5th house Saturn energy in Virgo. Yeah, like you're very passionate and playful and fun. Like you're definitely a leader that has been very disciplined. Okay, like this is actually a lot different than the first 2 piles, which I'm not mad about at all. Yeah, no, you're someone who's pretty humble and forgiving. I feel like you're pretty compassionate as well and just really open to a lot of change in your life as well. But I do feel like you've been very disciplined on whatever it is that you're putting your energy towards. So especially with Saturn, we could see here also having issues with the toxic masculine plenty of times in your life and having to let that go. So this could have been a breakup that really fueled you taking charge and doing something that you really enjoy, taking charge of something that you really appreciate in life. But with the 5th house, we see that you found a new joy, found some new spirit, and found something that really makes you feel good about you and has in turn put you in this place of being humble about the way that you approach it. And there are things that do come up where do you feel like they think that you are a perfectionist? And sometimes you may overwork yourself because of perfectionism. Like you're trying to get things exactly the way that you see them in your mind into the physical realm. And oftentimes the only reason that we're picturing things or seeing things in our mind is to give us a blueprint of what it is that we can create in the physical realm. That it doesn't always look like that though, right? Like if we're trying to match the exact image that we have in our head, sometimes we will actually put ourselves into a very stressful place or a tizzy. That's what I heard, a tizzy, and end up not actually giving as much as ourselves if we could, or giving as much as ourselves to the project as we could, or what it is that we want to develop and create. So you do feel like they secretly think that you are a bit of a perfectionist and do overwork yourself in regards to that, and that sometimes that can be a block for you. Sometimes that can be a huge barrier to overcome, but that you're still disciplined and you still do the best that you can regardless, even if you spend extra time trying to perfect what it is that you're doing. Like you still are a hard worker and you put forth a lot of effort. And so this is something that they really think secretly about you, but they're not going to tell you that. I wish people would. I wish people would say like, wow, you're such a good worker or whatever like that. But it's just not the way life works anymore. I feel like people are really scared about giving compliments or scared that people are going to take advantage of that or be, you know, in a state of narcissism. Not that you would or anything. It's just that I think that's why a lot of people don't say good things anymore, because of that. But let's see what comes through here. Definitely a lot of watery energy as well. Like you're very emotional about what you do in a good way, right? It's what drives the passion for you. So Source, what else would you like to tell pile number 3 here? Yeah, letting go of the superficial beliefs. So maybe you started this for, you know, different reasons. You could have started doing what you're doing, like, or gotten the job for the money or for the status at the beginning, but all of a sudden it evolved into something that you really do love. It's something that you really can't leave, you know? So you could have a team that works for you, or you work with a team. What else, Source? Pile number 3. What do their coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? Okay, thank you. Okay, what does their coworkers think of them but won't say? Thank you. Okay, what do their coworkers secretly think of them but won't say? Source, what would you like to say? All right. Let me get this straight here. On the bottom of the deck, we have, yeah, not surprised, the Six of Cups. Water energy is coming out so strong. So this is Scorpio energy being present here. And actually, when we look at it, like usually the Six of Cups is my soulmate card. But with this context, I really feel like this is pointing towards, this is something that you just, it's what you're meant to do. Like, and they see that, like, you embody it fully and you're not afraid of it. And so you could actually own your own business and have a team that works under you. You don't have to, but that's definitely an energy that's coming through here. And this could just be like, whatever it is that you do for work, it's just something that a lot of people struggle with, and you've just found a real passion for it. And you're making a lot of changes in your work and in your life because of this love that you have for it, because it's fueling something that's good for you. And we see here with the Five of Wands that at one point something definitely rocked your world in a bad way, but now you're regaining footing and grounding on your journey. And so it does feel like this is a part of your path of purpose with the number 10. And it feels like everything had to fall apart for you to find this as well. And so I feel like people see that and they notice that, and they secretly think that too, like, wow, you know, their life must have really fallen apart for them to be at the position that they're in. Okay, so we've got the Page of Wands in the reverse. Wow, okay. We've got the Judgment in the reverse. And the Knight of Coins in the reverse. Okay, so there are people here who also think that, like, maybe you're a little immature. Or maybe you air out some dirty laundry as well. So, like, they may feel like you talk too much about your past, or they may feel like you talk too much about your life. But I actually think that you talking about what you've been through is what also helps fuel the passion, because it's like realizing you're not the only one that's experienced hardships. And I do feel like there are other people who feel that as well. Like, oh, I'm so glad that Pile 3 shares their experiences, because it makes me realize, like, I'm not alone in the way that I feel. And there's some people here just like, oh, here we go again. Here's Pile number 3 sharing their past, or here's Pile number 3 sharing about their life again. Like, as if it's going to inspire us. And there are some people who have a problem with it, but they feel like it's something that actually thwarts you from doing an even better job. Which, you know, it doesn't matter. You're going to bring your own spin to it. If that's what you feel intuitively drawn to do, then do that, right? That means it's right for you, just because it's not right for other people. And I feel like this is something that's going to vibrate these people out of your lives, especially even if they're coworkers. Like, it's just something that, like, it's going to close the door on them, and you're not going to have to worry about it too much anymore. But with Judgment in reverse at the center of the reading, like, Judgment talks about family issues and things that family doesn't want anyone else to know. So this could even be family that's coming in. Like, maybe you work with your family and there's someone here that, you know, like, if you own your own business, say that you hired someone that is in your family, which is difficult to do anyways, or maybe you're working for your family business. That could be why that's coming out as well. That's a very specific message. But here's the thing, like, it's like they're over here thinking that, like, you're busy telling everybody about all the darkness and all the things that have gone on behind closed doors, and not seeing that you're actually really in love with what you're doing, not seeing that you're actually bringing a lot of skill and talent to what it is that you're doing. And so there's this projection of someone who's immature and worried about that people are going to see them for who they really are. And so they think, like, oh, well, that's affecting Pile number 3. Like, Pile number 3 could do an even better job if they just didn't focus on family, if they just didn't focus on all our shortcomings, if they just didn't focus on our stories or whatever like that. But if not, it's just that this is a coworker who thinks that you focus too much on your family, or focuses too much on telling your story and your experiences. And they don't understand that that's actually a part of the charm that you bring to your position. And so it's hard, though, sometimes. Like, there's a lot of people who don't see the value in that. Like, they just want the bare minimum. And a lot of those people that want the bare minimum are people who aren't deep. Like, they're very superficial. right? And so that's exactly what I'm feeling with these individuals, is they're very superficial. Like, they don't want anything that's more than skin deep. And for you, it's much more than that. It's about helping others to overcome difficulties. And I feel like you're in a path of service, which could be, you know, especially with Virgo energy coming through, like you could be doing some kind of service for others. You know, not healthcare necessarily, but some assistance to others, like where your experience helps them make a decision or helps them to embrace something that they're going through. So counseling is coming through, actually, which I know it's not the counseling energy from the dice, but that actually came out really loud right now as counseling. So, or coaching of some sort. Maybe you're in a coaching position like that. And so it's like other people are seeing you do well, and they're seeing you fall in love with it, and they're seeing you make huge changes here and finding this balance after making a huge change. But there's also these other people that are thinking that you're letting your past and your burdens get the best of you, and that it's affecting what you're doing for work, and that it's affecting how you're showing up for work. We do see that there is jealousy coming through here. We do see that there is anger. There's someone who can't take this as this is who you are. This is someone who just uses this as an excuse to maybe spread gossip about you, or to paint a picture like they want to see. And it's frustrating because it's like, it doesn't matter how you show up. Like, this person's just not going to see you for who you are, because for whatever reason, you and your energy has triggered them. And it's no reflection on you, pile 3. Like, it never will be. It's just, that's where this person is. But we see here, it's like they think that you're the childish one, but I actually think they're the childish one. And I feel like that's what's thwarting their own efforts. They're worried about maybe money from the past, or they're worried about past situations. They're worried about taking action. They can't be present because they're constantly in fear of things that have happened from the past. And I do feel like you maybe remind them of their family as well, but they don't want to heal. And so I feel like they're thinking that you're someone who doesn't want to heal, and they're over here thinking that you're someone who just wants other people to feel sorry for them, and so on and so forth. And then you have these other individuals at work that are seeing you as someone who has overcome a lot and has found a new sense of joy in life, and who has really focused on putting forth the effort. And so it's weird because I feel like it's someone ripping the page. That's what I keep seeing. It's like someone's ripping the page. There's this half and then there's this half. And they're not even in contact with one another. Like, that's the thing. It's like, so whatever the half is that's negative, like, they don't have contact with the half that's positive, that's cheering you on. So that could be bosses versus actual employee, like coworkers, or that could be two different teams that you're working on, or different projects that you're working on, or like friends at work versus just someone who's on the team who just knows your name. You know, take it as it resonates, but that's what it feels like. I keep seeing that, like someone ripping a page, and it's like, here's all the negative and here's all the positive, but there's no interaction between the two. Like, it feels like there's a huge divide actually there. So maybe this could be your clients and your coworkers. I know we're doing a coworkers one, but it's like, it feels like that. Or if you have like an online presence, and you have people who are seeing you do well, who are jealous of you, and then you have people who are seeing you do well and they're cheering you on because they appreciate what you offer, right? So something like that, okay? And that's what it feels like. But we see here what's being projected on you is actually something that's coming from close to home, from these people who are projecting it. They feel like you're not actually listening. That's why you keep hearing them. You're not listening, pile 3. You're just being stubborn, and you're not doing what you need to do, and you're just thinking that you can turn nothing into or something out of nothing. And what is that? Squeeze blood from a turnip, or squeeze blood from a stone? I think I've heard that before. I think that's a saying. Can't squeeze blood from a turnip. Like, when people use that, they use it as like, you can't make money appear out of nowhere. Like, that's what people use it for. It's such a weird saying. I used to work in collections, and I'm pretty sure that's how it was said. You can't squeeze blood from a stone, or you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. And that's what it means. And so I feel like that's what these people are saying. Like, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. Like, you're not going to make anything happen with what you're doing. That's why this feels weird. This feels a lot different than the other two. Like, it doesn't feel like you're in an office setting. It feels like maybe you move around on different projects, or you're out and about, or like you're online, or like this is a different feeling altogether than the other ones. And that's why I was saying, like, when I was saying, like, it's a ripping piece of paper, there's like a huge divide between the people who are really, really happy for you and seeing you find this abundance and seeing you find contentment after a period of distress. And then there are others who maybe they even know your story, but they're just like, whatever, you're not the only one that's suffered, or you're not the only one that's been through hard shit. You know, excuse me for cursing. Excuse me, that just came out way faster than I was prepared for. But you're not the only one that's been through hard things. And that's the thing. It's like, that's how they feel. Like, I feel like this person definitely curses about you behind your back. Like, this is someone, I keep saying a person because it feels like one person, but it could be multiple people who share a similar belief, but it does feel like one person. So this is someone who's got an issue with you being you. It's like they want you to fail so that they can come and tell you, I told you so. Or so that they can swoop in and be some kind of savior for you and be like, okay, so now it's time that you listen to what I said. So it's giving me the feeling that it's family. That is such a weird energy. That's weird. It's weird. Maybe you took a sales position, or like a commission only position, and you have to go out and about and sell things to people, or like, it's not, that's what it feels like. And it's like, people are really enjoying what you're doing, and it's building, and it's slowly building. And you don't really care about how long it takes because you're passionate about it. 17:17 on the clock. And tomorrow is the 17th. So that's interesting. Chiron. Okay. Okay. Here we go. The wounded healer. Yeah, so there are people who see that you've been hurt really bad. And you've gone through a lot, and you've healed from that. Okay, and so it's like the people who understand Chiron, or the people who understand what it is to overcome something that's incredibly difficult in life, like, they get it. They're like cheering you on. And then there are others who don't even this is not a thing for them. Like, Chiron is not a thing. Like, that's like, it's almost like the people who don't want to see you succeed, they're like in this energy of, oh, pile 3 doesn't know what bad is. Pile 3 doesn't know what struggle is. But I feel like they don't actually know your whole story. They just know little pieces of it. And it's like, oh, well, if that's all I had to deal with, I'd probably be where pile 3 is too. But they're like, know this much. And there's a whole iceberg under the water that they don't even have privy to. So we see here, you're in this wounded healer energy, and it's like you're helping others heal. Yeah, emotions. This is driven by emotions. This whole reading for you, Pile 3, is all about emotions. It's all about emotional well-being. It's all about finding yourself, finding contentment with who you are. And I feel like it doesn't matter what others are saying about you. It's just knowing that what you're doing is bringing you happiness. It's satisfying emotional needs, nurturing the self and others. So I feel like other people out there, like the people who are your coworkers that are cheering you on, it's like they're seeing you finally get a sense of self-love and taking care of and releasing that pain from the past. And the other ones who are jealous of you or who are angry about you, like, they only want you to satisfy them, right? Okay. Like, toxic alert, right? Like, let's see. But they want you to take care of them. They want you to cater to what they want, and they're not listening to what's going on with you, and they don't want to listen anyway. So these are like people you just waste your breath with. These are coworkers who are never going to see your side of things. These are, even if it's just people, like, I keep feeling like it's people, like there's someone here that's like coming in that you need to hear about, or that you need to know about, that is really weighing heavy on your energy right now. And it's because they're in this very resentful, blaming type energy, and they're like forcing that all onto you. And I feel like you definitely feel that, but this is definitely a different energy than what the other two were. Like, this is way different. On the bottom, we have cardinal energy, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. Yeah. I do feel like the coworkers that are cheering you on are in this energy of like, wow, you're so brave. Like, you've overcome so much. You've done so much with your life, with what you're doing. Like, you've come so far. But it's the other ones, I feel like they're trying to instigate some sort of fight or to make you feel guilty about what you choose to do or how you choose to show up. And, you know, yeah, with 33 on the bottom here, horse spirit, freedom is yours. Yeah. I feel like it doesn't matter. Like, you're feeling good about what you're doing. And you should, right? You have talent. You have the skill. Like, you shouldn't worry about that. Whoa, okay. So you're going to get 2 of those. Everyone else just got 1. I won't tell if you won't, pile 3. On the bottom, we have Artranus and Rizlu with open yourself to the gifts that life brings. Be grateful and patient, and you will receive all that you require. So there's been a lot of patience required for what it is that you're doing. And there are a lot of people who see how patient you are. Not just with your work and your job, but also with them as coworkers and maybe with the ones who are toxic in your workplace as well. Like, just seeing that you're still showing up from this place of patience. Yeah, artist. I'm not surprised that this came out at all. We've expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically, right? This is what you're doing. It's like you're painting something into existence by sharing your experiences, and that's helping others to see life symbolically. Like, they're like, oh, okay, I see things now differently that I never would have seen before. And then we have shadow attributes with using your talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as a starving artist to elicit pity. Yeah, and I feel like that's whoever this energy is talking about here, the coworker, that's what they're used to. They're used to eliciting pity from others, like to get a response. It feels like they always want, you know, they want people to see them as someone to, you know, like people who they want attention, but they don't care if it's good attention or bad attention. That's what it feels like. And now the attention's been turned from them to you, and they don't like that. So we have the servant here, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. We have the confirmation that you're in some type of service to others. What I was saying, I was feeling with the Virgo energies, there's some sort of service that you're providing and helping others. I don't necessarily feel like it's healthcare, but it could absolutely be. But it's some sort of service that you're offering to help others. That's why I was saying, like, counseling came through so strong. We have the shadow attributes, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Okay, so 2 cards here talking about lack of money to elicit pity and to not move forward. So there's someone here who's trying to paint you as a starving artist or as a servant or someone who is less than what you are. Like, they're trying to convince other people that you aren't going to make it, that you're not going to have success, that you're going to fall flat on your face, that you're always just going to be someone that is dependent on others' goodwill or others', you know, money or others' life or whatever here. For both of these to come out, that's the shadow of this person, because they refuse to see you as this artist. They refuse to see you as someone who's gifted. Okay, so this is what one of your coworkers secretly thinks of you but won't say. And I feel like they really want people to believe them. But again, I was getting, with the Judgment card being revealed here at the center of your reading, we do have a direct link to this being family as well. So this could be a family member who's trying to convince your coworkers of this. Well, I don't know how that would work, but, you know, only you know your position. But that's what it feels like here. And so for these 2 cards to come out and to flip over by themselves, like, they were very, very strong energies here. It's like seeing that you're serving people, you're helping people see things from a completely different experience in life and perspective. And it's like, whoever this is that has this negative energy towards you, they don't want to see that your pain is actually creating a life of abundance for you. Because if they were to ever accept that or acknowledge that, then it comes back to that, well, why me? My pain was way worse than pile number 3's, and why didn't I get a life of abundance? So it's like, they're not doing anything to better themselves, and you are. Okay, and so that's like something that Source wants to bring through. It's like, that's why I feel like your reading is way different than the other 2 piles. It is. It's really different. And if you've watched all 3 piles, leave a purple heart down below. That's for my Purple Heart Club. Just say I made it. I know what that means. And I truly do appreciate those of you that watch all 3 piles. Okay. But this is this is a way different type of energy and a different type of reading even. And I have no control over that. I have to go with the energy that's coming through. Yeah, so we have child nature coming through here with friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits, and the shadow is a tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. And so I feel like you've been through abuse in your life, whether that's, you know, physical, emotional, mental, sexual, whatever it was. Like, you've been through abuse and you've had to overcome that. And that's what made you stronger. But there's someone here or a group of people here who don't want to acknowledge that. What was I saying? Like, you're passionate about what you're doing with hobbies, preferences, and interests. So again, confirming that whatever it is that you do for work, you're incredibly passionate about. You're showing up because you love to do it. It never was about the money for you, but everybody makes everything about the money. And it's like the money will follow when you're happy with what you're doing. But sometimes it's hard for people who are really convinced of the 9-to-5 life. Like, they just are so convinced that this is the only way to make money, and that we can't, like, risk taking came out. We can't take risks. We can't do something different because that's not how life works. Well, that's your experience, that life doesn't work that way. That doesn't mean that that's everybody else's experience, nor do they want it to be. We have terrific on the bottom. Yeah, so you could definitely have come from another pile. Hummingbirds are very, very clear in another pile. We have fantastic results, greatness, and great moments. Yeah, so Source is just showing you here, like, you're on the journey to having success. Okay, so we had all these flip over. Let me stack these up over here. We'll check these out in a minute. Okay, and we've got risk-taking. Attack, go ahead, and glory favors the brave. Do we need another explanation about this? Absolutely not. Like, you've taken a risk. Whatever it is that you're doing, you took the risk. It's like, it doesn't matter what another person thinks. Like, you're showing up because you're passionate about it. We have seek here, guidance, help, and miracle. They're like, with the light shining down here, it's like Source is shining the light on you and helping you to come into a place of alignment so that you can manifest what it is that you want. We have process with journey, growth, path, and experiences. Yeah, so definitely growing. And you may have experienced growing pains. You may be going through growing pains, right? But it doesn't matter because you're making progress. Look, loneliness, emptiness, depression, wandering, and a gap period. And I feel like this is something that also, like, your coworkers might not know about you, is that you've dealt with some severe depression, severe loneliness. Like, there's a lot of coworkers here who think that, like, you have a lot of friends, or like you're a really, you know, impressionable person, and you could be, like, you impress upon others, you know, like, it's like people just want to hang out with you, and that could be true, but it doesn't mean that you haven't experienced this type of energy before. Right? Or that it's something that you might fight with. And so I feel like that's the other thing. And so definitely whoever this negative energy is that's coming through, they definitely don't see that. Definitely, definitely, definitely. How many times can we say definitely? But they don't see it. They're unaware. They don't think anybody can be depressed because in their mind, no one has experienced life worse than me. It's not the same. It's different. You wouldn't understand. Like, no one knows better than they do. And that's not true, right? Like, there are people who experience way worse things than all of us. We have fusion. Look, what was I saying? Alignment, coming into alignment, align, openness, harmony, and collaboration. Yeah, so you're fusing into your alignment right now. Like, Source is bringing you into exactly where you're meant to be right now. I feel like for you, Pile 3, it was just more about, like, seeing, like, what things are happening for you. And if this is not what you wanted to hear, you're more than welcome to check out one of the other 2 piles. But again, that's just the energy here is a lot different. The reading's going in a lot different direction. And I'm going with where it's going because that's the type of reader that I am. So it's just understanding sometimes it's not going to be exactly what we're looking for, but it's going to be what we need, right? So the shadow aspect coming through here is, yeah, this makes so much sense. It got complicated. Lots of twists and turns, a naughty situation, and precarious. And the reading in and of itself is actually complicated. Like, it's complicated because it's not a direct answer to the question that was asked, even though we have asked the question, right? All right, let's get 2 of these cards out, and then we'll check out what you're... Okay, yeah. Okay, so we've got protection coming out, and we've got you're being protected from deceit and from situations that no longer serve you. Lie low for a while and you will be shown the truth. And then look at this prickly situation. You need both tact and diplomacy to reach your goals. The struggle is worth the prize. Work around the issue and use a gentle touch. So you're being protected from something that's pretty, I don't know, it's not good. It's prickly, right? It's a prickly situation. It's a difficult situation. And you're being protected from that. And I feel like that's what's so powerful here for this to come out together. It's showing it's like, doesn't matter what this other person thinks or what these other coworkers think. It's just how you work around the situation. And on the bottom, opportunity. Yes, doors are opening up for you. You have the chance to change jobs, start a business, or invest in a new venture. Just do it. Be like Nike. Just do the thing. All right, so we've got the ant spirit with time to collaborate. See, everything falling apart to fall into place. And I say that earlier, it's like everything had to fall apart. And I feel like that's exactly what some people that you work with believe. And they secretly think it's like everything in your life, pile 3, is falling apart, but it's starting to fall into place. And they're happy. They're glad seeing you become successful. And we have Rosmerta and abundance. With abundance and wealth are now flowing towards you. Prepare to be receptive at every level in order to receive all that awaits for you. Yeah, you're coming into alignment. Nike. I can't with you, Source. I can't. This is amazing. Just do the thing. Okay, we've got Nike and Leslie. Your talents will lead you to great success. The time has come to allow your potential to awaken. Believe in yourself. Exactly. Like I said, Source is saying this reading, it doesn't matter really what other people are thinking about you. It doesn't matter what your coworkers secretly think about you but won't say. Like, Source wants you, pile 3, to focus on self-belief and realizing that your talents are getting you to these opportunities that are coming through. Look, under that, we have endings, we have shedding underneath that, we have progress underneath that. Yeah, so you're moving on. You're moving on from something that just wasn't even worth your time. Yield, force, concede, surrender, and accept. There's a transformation here. Reject, negation, never forbidden, taboo. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are rejecting your success too, even coworkers that are rejecting your success, but there are also a lot of coworkers that are cheering you on. So I don't know what type of job that you work in, but it feels like you're surrounded by a lot of different people, right? So it's like there's some that never talk to others, and so it's like you're kind of like the little social butterfly that touches and talks to everybody. Right? Well, yeah, look, family. I cannot make this up. We had family coming through so strong throughout the whole reading. Roots, bloodlines, and togetherness. So, do you work with family, pile 3? Is family, like, aware of what you're doing? Are they one of your coworkers? I mean, it's always kind of an awkward situation anyways, but that's what it really feels like here. Empty, clean, purify, empty, and practice. Yeah, so they're helping you empty out this negative energy and to purify your soul. Let's see what the shadow aspect is here. Drowning. Wow. You're going under and barely keeping things afloat. Ask for help. And I feel like that's something that's definitely at play here. It's like the hurt and the pain that you've been through, the hardships that you've had to overcome, where you were unbalanced and you had to finally come into this place of balance once again. It's like you had to ask for help, and to ask for help, I feel like you did ask your guides, and now you're getting aligned with the journey ahead. So I'm going to take a look at your talisman oracle. I'm going to read this from the book. We have wisdom, like in the octopus here. Wow. Wow. Okay. So wisdom. Here's the insignia, if you would like to screenshot that and carry it with you. It says, the power of the mind has no limits. Wisdom is not only about having all the information and knowledge about applying what we know to our situation so that it adds meaning and promotes the common good. This card reminds you that it's time to live life in such a way that builds the spirit. The octopus on this card is upside down and invites you to look for an alternate perspective to broaden your vision. Sometimes all it takes is distancing ourselves from the situation to see more clearly what's best for us and everyone we love. Your third eye is awakened and focused on the scene, so don't be afraid to look for a new viewpoint. It says, I am the wisdom within. So this is really powerful because I feel like that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's like Source doesn't want you to focus on this situation or the negative energy that's coming, you know, trying to figure out what they think of you. They want you to focus instead on using your intuition and moving forward away from this situation, especially if there's family involved here or ties to family. It's like letting yourself be guided to alignment, and that's going to be something that serves you so well. This was truly a powerful reading, pile number 3. So if you felt like this was your reading, because I don't think there's an octopus emoji. If there is, you could leave an octopus emoji, but I don't think there is one. But leave the little skull emoji down below and say, I choose to let my intuition and third eye guide me into the alignment with my highest good, knowing that I am manifesting everything that I've asked for. And I can truly release the past now. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. You'll find everything you need there, including how to reach me for a personal reading and how to join as a member here. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this powerful message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.